Do you remember the pig from earlier? See, I know for sure the piggy is out there this evening. Now, he may not be with us quite yet, but he is coming. And I wasn't done with my gifts for him yet. You see, he's so quick to rush off and so quick to just jump onto the next thing without allowing me to finish what I had for him. So, Piggy, I know you're out there. And I know you're watching. Or you will be soon. Just allow me. Oh, hello, Kyle. Wonderful for you to join us this evening. Just a moment. I'll be with you very, very shortly, I promise. Just getting this ready for him. Yes, there we go. See, isn't that better? I'm gonna send him to you, Peggy. This is my gift for allowing me to be a part of your team. So, number one, hi. I know this might be confusing. It is Monday night. It is for sure time for Talking Scared. No, excuse you, Piggy. Excuse you. And this is Piggy. This is just beautiful. I created this for you. And here I was about to thank you. Because for those of you that have not noticed or have not seen or perhaps have decided to live under a rock, I have decided to play with some friends of mine over at Experienced Terror Team. Now this is a wonderful thing that has happened. Although the moist one does continue to hide, we will bring him out eventually, I promise. I promise. Moist, I know you're there. I'm going to put this piggy down for now. I'm going to put him down for now. Set him over here on the Bible. Because you should always have one of those by your side, right? But anyways, Sacrilegious Thursdays will be beginning on... Now, hold on to your butts here for a second, because this might come as a shock. But it's going to be on Thursdays. Every Thursday, Sacrilegious Thursdays, with Experienced Terror Team, with myself. I guess we can include the Haunted Honeymooners in this in some way, shape, or form, although they have been driving me absolute batshit crazy with shit. And I'm just going to start handling things on my own. Because when I handle things on my own, some really, really cool fucking things begin to happen. Such as, who are we speaking with this evening? What possible guest could your minister have brought to his beautiful, beautiful children? Well, I searched high and low. Really, honestly, if I'm honest about the entire situation, a lot more low than high. But I found him, and I'm going to bring him to you this evening. Now, if you are followers of the page, The Haunted Honeymooners, on the Book of Faces, you already know what's happening tonight. Tonight we will be, I don't know how much of him's even left inside of this demented fucking head anymore. But anyways, some people are going to be speaking to some people. And by some people, I guess I mean MoTo the motherfucking clown. Now, there was a time in a past life that I got the opportunity to go to a circus, and I saw some clowns. Now, scary, I don't know. I genuinely, I don't fucking know. I haven't seen any clowns that's had a goddamn cross burned into their fucking flesh. But, I am open-minded. Hello, Chiller. Open-minded and willing to explore new things. So this evening I have agreed to allow the MoTo MoTo the Clown to come and be with us for a little while this evening. So let me implore you, number one, share, share, share. Like, do all that shit that you have. Sorry, apparently the Lilith thinks that she can fucking fuck with this shit. And that won't be allowed this evening, I promise. You're beginning to annoy me, lady. Do you want to explain why you're so close to me right now? I sent you away. So, while we're waiting for MoTo, may I share a story? I may, because you see, it's my fucking show, so I'll do whatever I want. But anyways, a story for you. This one here believes that perhaps she is ready to try new things. You know, you're never going to receive the mark at this rate. Just so we're clear. You're really, really disappointing me at this moment in time. Especially after I thought you had this all handled. That's what you told me. You told me that you had this all handled. You see, this is why I have to intervene. This is why. But anyways, like I was saying, she has decided that she wants to try to receive the mark herself. Now, the mark is not something that you can just stumble into lightly and just walk into and it's okay. And it's just something that you can do. That's not how the mark works. You see, certain people have experienced it a little bit, Louis B. A little. Just a little. She wants to experience it in its entirety. I don't know if she's quite ready for all of that yet, but we will see. We will see. You have to press ahead. I try with this one so much. Now understand. Oh, you probably can't even hear me right now. That's right. I forgot.
Is there a bunch of... Uh-oh. Okay, on my end. I don't know about yours.
How are you?
You okay? How about the ones in the comments? Let's see here.
Nope, still.
There we go.
Is that a little better?
I hear you.
Right. Well, welcome to Talking.
What's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
1 second. She's working on it.
That's how that shit happens. We'll get it figured out.
I mean, it's been a little while since we've done that anyway.
Every time Facebook changes, every single time something goes to hell.
I'm beginning to notice that as well. I think that Mark Zuckerberg, really honestly, we should probably do something about that. They're still saying the audio.
He's listening. Someone needs headphones. I did bring some headphones. Should I try my end? Tell you what I'm gonna do. Let me hop off here for a second, get my headphones in, and I'll hop back on.
Absolutely. do have MoTo the Clown. He is going to be coming right back. This is going to be it is not. That is true. Damn Mark fucking Zuckerberg, man. Fucking asshole. I think he's trying to come back in if you would. Be kind enough. Go ahead and click approve. I gotta guide her through. Every single motherfucking time. Hi, James. We're working on it. Having a little Mark Zuckerberg difficulties at the moment. Well, we're still waiting. Clearly. Hi, Misty. How are you? It's not very nice of Scurvy to be saying such things, but... There you go. Click down there. There's a new one. Yep. You know, for somebody that's supposed to have this shit fucking mastered. This is why I sent her away.
Hello.
Hello. How is that?
I hear you much better.
I hear you so much better. Welcome. We're going to pretend all that bull fucking shit never even happened. We're going to roll right on through and have an amazing fucking evening. Number one. Wow. So, MoTo the Clown. Now, to be honest with you, sir, to begin things off, I have never dealt with a frightening clown before. Do you consider yourself a frightening clown, sir?
I consider myself a lot more of an asshole than anything.
I love that. That's the best type of person to be. Because the asshole, that's just yourself. That's just who we are inside, and it's so beautiful.
That is exactly who I am.
Then I think this evening's going to go just perfectly. I think you and I are on the exact same wavelength, the exact same asshole page. So, allow us to begin. Number one, welcome, sir, to Talking Scared. This is an honor for me. See, I have to deal with a lot of mortals whenever I do this show. It's very rare that I get the opportunity to speak to somebody that I feel is on the same wavelength and I feel has that brother connection. And I see you got a little juice there. Why don't we start right there talking about the nut juice, I believe, correct?
MoTo's nut juice.
Now, does that come straight from the nuts?
With a little bit of work, yeah. I produce about a 50 ml bottle within about every 32 seconds or so, but every now and again I run dry.
Well, that's a hefty load to have to push out all the time like that. So I could understand the nut juice running dry every once in a while. So, but that's really honestly that's not really why we're here. So MoTo the Clown, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who the fuck is MoTo the Clown?
Well. Let's go way back to the beginning.
Okay.
We're gonna go way back. We're gonna go back to the time when MoTo couldn't even make it through a fucking haunt.
What?
7 years old.
Okay.
7 years old, I couldn't make it through a haunt. Held onto my mom, burying my face in her back the whole entire way. Actually, we had to quit the first room the first time. And then she forced me back in with her, and I said, okay, cool. I'm just going to hide my face the whole time.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
So, and this was farming friends of ours in Iowa, a little tiny town in Iowa, way back when. Technically 23 years ago. Now, when we went back there, we made it all well and good. The next week, she takes me to Omaha, Nebraska. We're at Hobby Lobby, back before Spirit and all that stuff came up. Back when Hobby Lobby had walls and walls of masks and costumes. It was the Spirit at the time.
Okay.
So we roll through there. She picks out this mask, and I'm like, oh, that's a fucking cool goblin. Full head, latex mask. Goblin dude, way too big on me. And only had a patch of hair about yay big, kind of looked like Tyler. And it just kind of waved about, looked like shit. Costume, and I said, woo, Halloween's going to be awesome this year. I'm a scary son of a bitch.
Very cool.
Then the next weekend, she drops me off back at this place that I hate, that I couldn't make it through. And she takes me in, takes me to Kerry, the guy who owned the haunt, and said, hey, man, you ready to work? And I said, wait, what? Work? What? Well, he puts me in this room, and he says, hey, you stand here and you look fake. He's like, you just stand here and don't move. He said, now when people get close to you, go at them, jump at them, do something. And I said, what the hell am I even doing here? I didn't know what I was doing. And that was my very first year. I got home that night, and my mom said, how was it? And I said, when do I get to go back? There's the addiction. That's the start. Since then, man, I've acted in some bigger haunts in Omaha, Nebraska. Then I joined the military. Built a tiny little haunt on the base I was on in Japan for the base families. Done quite a bit, and then I found the haunt that I'm at now, Creepy Hollow Woods, in 2012 when I transferred here.
Very cool. So, I want to get into Creepy Hollow Woods with you, but before that, please tell us about so you active military, you're in Japan, and you make a fucking haunt. Please elaborate on that a little bit.
It was a very interesting thing, to be honest with you. It kind of sucked being over there. No haunts. Yeah, they had all kinds of paranormal stuff over there, which I debunked most of. I volunteered for the Balls to 8 watches, midnight to 8 a.m. watches, trying to beat these rumors. But they didn't have any haunted attractions. The base allowed some trick-or-treating. And I said, okay, cool. And I went to my Divo, and then he actually let me talk to the skipper about it. And it went up to MWR, who gave me a little bit of funding and an abandoned hangar and said, here's 10 grand, do what you can do. And I said, oh, fuck, yes, I can do a lot with this. Well, I wasn't as resourceful then as I am now, learning what I've learned since then. But man, I could have made that 10 grand go so much further. But I got to do it for the base families, got some guys from other squadrons, basic masks, basic costumes, just something for the families to go do. And it was free of charge because it was MWR. The next year, they approached me about doing one for charge and allowing Japanese nationals in. And I said, okay, cool. Well, then that hangar didn't pass whatever inspection they had on it, and they ended up demolishing the hangar, so I didn't get to do it. Then I transferred over here. So I really only got to do it once, mostly pallets, plywood, anything I could find around the base. And it was very simple, strobe lights, some red lights, some amber lights, very, very simple stuff. A lot of neon, black light stuff, just stuff to change the mood up a little bit, but very simple, yet very effective. And everyone seemed to enjoy it.
Very cool. Very cool. And what an awesome thing to do for people, that are on deployment, away from home, away from their families, and to give them a moment to escape everything that is or isn't going on in their lives at that moment in time. So that's an awesome thing. What a wonderful gift you gave to the mortals. Way to go, MoTo. Very good.
Every now and again.
Yeah, you got to entertain them every once in a while. Keep them coming back. That way it keeps the victim supply flowing. But let's talk about the current haunt that you're at now. Where are we at these days?
14th in the nation as of last year with
Pretty
reviewed
good.
through ScurryFace.
Pretty
Um,
good.
I found them in 2012. Met them through a friend of a friend, actually. He hit me up and he said, "Hey, man, I know you like the haunted house stuff. I've worked at this one. You need to come out here and meet the owner." And I said, "Rock on, let's do it." And never heard anything about it until one day he was like, "Hey, man, you busy? Come over here to this address." And I said, "Okay." So I drove out there. He introduced me to the owner, Shane. Wonderful man, great guy. And I instantly felt at home when I started walking through and he started showing me some of his stuff. He had a bunch of woods behind his house. So we go back there. He walks me from the beginning, tells me what he's wanting to do all the way through, everything. And I said, "Oh shit, this is really cool for a backyard wood haunt. This is really, really fucking cool." And then talking to him and everyone who was there, and I felt at home with the passion behind all of them,
Awesome.
the passion for haunting, and it was something that I hadn't felt in a long, long time because I kind of lost touch with everything because I was overseas. But man, I felt right at home. I settled my ass down there. He said, "Hey man, I need a Jigsaw character. Billy the Puppet from Saw." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, I need one." And I was like, "Well, I'm kind of 6 foot tall and 260 pounds, but I'll make it fucking work. How's that?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Yeah, we got your room built for you and everything." I was like, "What? Okay." So we go back there. He shows it to me, shows me what it wants me to do. And I took it and ran with it and had a good time with it. And I was up the trail, on the back side of the trail, having a good time and just fucking with people the whole way through. And then the next year, I did another room for him based off of Jigsaw. So that's what I did. Is I was Jigsaw for like 2 or 3 years. Then I was a crazy, I don't even know what the hell you want to call it. We just called it a torture room, a redneck. I was crazy redneck, chainsaw, torture dude, whatever the fuck you want to call me. It was a room that we threw in because one that was there failed. So we built some what the fuck are they called? Put your fucking head in and your wrist in. Stocks.
Yes. I was right there. I was almost there.
Yep. We built some stocks, 4 sets of them, put them in there. That was for my hands-on experience that I introduced at Creepy Hollow 2013, 14.
Very cool.
And so I ran that room just because we needed it. And I was actually Pennywise that year too.
Oh, that had to be cool as shit.
It was fun. I'm the witty comeback guy, the dark, creepy type. But I really looked into a lot of things. And that year I was actually memeing people, like the pictures with words from the Creepy Hollow page. They would ask questions or say something about something that was going on at the haunt, and I would respond with a meme, a custom-made meme with their name in it.
That's
from
awesome.
One of Pennywise's looks. So it gained a lot of attention for the haunt that year. And I said, man, it'd be fucked up if people showed up and there wasn't a Pennywise. So I'm going to be Pennywise. So we did, and it worked. And then the room that we had there was bombing, so we took stuff out of there, and bing, bang, boom. I was a crazy redneck dude using quiz questions to ask people to literally determine their fate.
Very cool.
It was fun.
So you talked about incorporating a little bit of a hands-on touch experience with your haunt back in, I believe you said 2012, right?
2013, 2014, somewhere in there.
Okay, so let's talk about the haunt present day. Is it a full contact haunt?
Only if you pay for that. We have 2 options.
Okay.
We have 2 options. So you roll up, you pay for normal, or you pay for Insanity, Night of Insanity, which is the hands-on version. You got to be 18 or older. There's a waiver, all that fun stuff. It's a $5 difference, and you get put into a hospital gown. Now, what happens after you go in? Because I've seen people make it through that, because there is a safe word. There's all that fun stuff. I've seen people spend up to 2 hours in the haunt just getting worked.
Damn.
It gets nuts, and when I first designed it, I said, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to charge a little extra, and people get to be a part of the haunt, and they're going to be on the same trail, same everything. But when they walk in and they're Night of Insanity, the actor's going to tell them what they want them to do, and they're going to work on them as other people come through, and they become a part of the scene. Cool thing, right? Then,
Yes.
then I said, a year later, my haunt owner and I both sat down, we talked about it, and he said, fuck it, let's make it real. And I said,
Yes.
game on.
Beautiful.
So then it became real. And as a matter of fact, my haunt owner just came in. So hello, Shane. But he kind of let everything go with that hands-on thing, and now we design our rooms based on what we can also accomplish through the Night of Insanity, the hands-on portion. And we figure out what we can do in each room for these people. And there is no, hey, this is what I want you to do. No, it's just straight up, this is what you're going to do. You either quit or it's happening.
As it should be.
And then the other people are walking by. The other customers get to walk by. And they get to see these people they were just talking to in line, you know, tied up, getting a chainsaw and run across their stomach, a bloodbath. You know, they'll grab them by the back of the head, shove their head in the bucket of blood, all kinds of stuff.
That is awesome. That is my cup of tea. That is right up my alley. I've let James do some different style haunts and shit like that, and I'm telling you, the immersive, the horror, the being in it, the feeling, that moment of no control where you just let yourself being controlled by complete strangers and doing the things that they do, man, that is experiencing a haunted attraction. And it's not for everybody. I understand that. There's some that aren't ready for it. But God damn, whenever you get the opportunity to go through one, it'll change your whole fucking life. Either for the good or for the bad. It might send you pissing in your panties all the way back home. But for those brave enough to encounter it and deal with it, what an amazing, amazing experience it could be. So, I would like to talk more about MoTo for a moment if we could. So, you're a clown, correct? We've talked about that for a second.
You can say that.
Okay, you're gonna have to help me out here a little bit. I'm struggling with the scary clown aspect and how exactly MoTo came into being.
Okay, honestly, this is where a lot of people, I've talked to a lot of people and they still don't believe me on this. Now, okay. MoTo, I talked to my haunt owner and I said, hey man, there's a lot of these guys, they go online and they're clowns online. They use it to promote their haunts. And I think I'm going to do something like that. And he said, well, what do you think you're going to do? Well, I wanted to use a character because I was also a professional motocross racer at one point. So I said, I want to use a character that I can use on both ends of the spectrum. I want to get booked for arena cross shows, stuff like this, and be able to work the haunt side. I want to have both ends.
Very cool.
So MoTo just kind of came out of that, short for motocross. Very, very simple. So really, I don't have a crazy deep backstory or anything like that. In all reality, it was a business decision based on my love for haunted attractions and my love of acting, and then obviously my love for motocross all at the same time. So it's kind of weird when I try to explain that to people. They're like, no, your backstory. And I'm like, I used to fuck myself up in motocross, and I like haunted houses, and I like acting. What more do you need?
Well, that's a good backstory.
The character kind of really developed, to be totally honest with you, online over time. January 25th, 2018 was my very, very first live feed. I went on Creepy Hollow Woods, and I said, I was very, very polite. I was very laid back, very chill. Hi, how are you? Hey, how's it going? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing. Ha, ha, hardy, 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 har. Shout out, shout out, shout out. And in my mind, I was like, this shit was boring. Well, it was fun, but it was boring. But I said, okay, cool. And then I got picked up by a clown group. And I started going live there and Creepy Hollow. And then I started saying, you know what? I got these assholes that come in and talk shit. I'm very good at talking shit. So let me go back at them and let's see how this goes. So one night I cut loose and I just started ripping into trolls and making fun of people and digging through their Facebook profile while I was live and just ripping everything about them apart. And I had so much fun with it, and the fans loved it. So I was like, you know what? I think this is the way I'm going to go. And AA Tuesday was born shortly after, which is my show on ScurryFace, Assholes Anonymous Tuesday.
Excellent show. Excellent show.
It's fun. I truly love it. And that show ended up becoming more of a, I'm a businessman at heart. I truly am. And I said, this is where I can address the current issues within the clown community. People know I'm straightforward. I'll tell it like it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. That's not how I am ever. So I can address issues with the clown community and put it in terms that people will understand better. And it'll educate the fans. It'll educate people that are wanting to get into this on what to do, what not to do, what path not to go down, this, that, this. And that's just kind of how MoTo's evolved. I went from super nice, super laid back to go fuck your couch and I fucked your mother with my chin.
Very cool. Very, very cool. So the show, let's talk about the show just a little bit more. For somebody that's never seen, although I can't imagine there's many people that haven't seen you do what you do. Let's talk a little bit about Assholes Anonymous. What can one expect their first time joining you on a Tuesday evening?
Well, actually, believe it or not, tomorrow is going to be a whole different ballgame. Not based on the character. I have OBS now, and it's a streaming system. I can stream music through it, and sound bites, this, that, this. So I finally have that system up and running and adjusted, and I got some help from Tyler today getting all that done. That way, it's a whole new show experience starting tomorrow. But you can expect not to be allowed to bring your kids in there.
No.
I've actually had messages from people saying, hey, can you tone it down? My kid is next to me. I don't give a fuck. Why are you letting your kid watch me? I don't give a shit that your kid's there. I won't sacrifice my show for one single person. You know, there's been times I've had over 4,000 people watching me at the same time.
Damn.
Why would I sacrifice for one person?
Absolutely.
I won't sacrifice my show, my quality, and what my fans love for one person. And that's how I'll always be. I've been shared into freaking church groups, for Christ's sake. I don't care. People do it because it's funny.
I found it interesting. We've had a couple preachers and religious people and stuff that have came and liked our page. And then, you know, they kind of realize just what the fuck it is they've liked. And very quickly, all of a sudden, you get a couple unlikes, and that's okay. You can deal with a few of those. It's no big fucking deal. I ain't worried about it at all. But it's always interesting to see the people that are just kind of stumbling in there and then go, oh, shit. What the fuck is this?
I've been shared to buy-sell trade pages. I've been shared into all kinds of shit. Christian groups. I mean, I've had so many different people show up in my feeds. And then the troll groups, which are always fun, always a good time. But, man, I love what I do. And every single Tuesday, you know, there's people, they get burnt out on doing the feeds because they do the same thing over and over and over again. And there's occasionally times where I say, you know what, maybe I need to take a week off and just woosah, relax, and come back with a fire under my ass. And then as soon as I start my feed and I start seeing them comments rolling through, it's like it's meant to be, man. It's something I truly love to do. Not many people have that, and you can tell who truly loves it and who's doing it for fake likes, for fake fame. Like, people think that I'm fucking going to Hollywood or something doing this. Like, I make money doing this. I don't make money. I don't make shit. Yeah. I mean, I do this for fun. I do this to promote my haunted attraction, promote ScurryFace, and just have a good fucking time because I love doing it.
Very cool. Very cool. And real quick, ScurryFace, to you, talking about the legit reverend part of your family, If you are referring to the one known as Gravedigger, which I would hope that you are, I apologize, Moto. I have to take a moment and give a shout out to the beautiful, wonderful Gravedigger. Please go to scurryface.com right now. Vote Gravedigger. I'm sorry for his opponent. His opponent may be fucking watching right now. It is what it is. We are pro fucking Gravedigger, hard fucking core. I voted. James voted. Trish voted. We're going to vote again. Okay? Scurryface.com. Vote for Gravedigger. Now we're back to Moto. I had to get that little shameless plug in for my boy there, man. I'm big fucking fan of Gravedigger.
You're good, bud. You're good.
What's going on, man?
Oh, man, you probably don't know this about Gravedigger. You know that I grew up 9 miles from him?
No, I did not know that about Gravedigger.
Nine miles. I used to play football against the high school that in the town he's from. They were our rival.
Very cool. Very cool. That's awesome. So I want to go back to the current haunt that you're at for just a second before we continue on. Now, I believe that you're probably a little not a believer on the paranormal side based off of what you said earlier. But it seems like every single motherfucking haunted attraction on planet Earth has a real life ghost story as to what something's actually happened here or it's actually haunted or something like that. So Trish has asked me if I would politely ask you if there's any fucking ghost stories or any experiences perhaps you've had or know of at your current haunted attraction.
Well, I'm going to break your heart. No. However,
not breaking my heart. It breaks her heart.
Well, we have what's called Coon Hill Cemetery. That is just through the woods. I believe it's like half a mile or so. But it is like some of the early settlers of the area type thing. And it's blocked off. There's cameras. There's gates. You can't get in there now unless you have a relative buried there and you have a key type of thing. So the thing is, there's a wall there. It's a stone wall. I've only seen it once. I only made the trip once to look at everything. There's a big cement wall back there. And it's pretty wide. I mean, it's plenty wide. Now, the rumor is, and my haunt owner will back this up, because they used to drink there when they were young, you know, back in like 1927 or whatever the hell. But they used to drink there and when they were kids. So the rumor is you can't make it across that wall balancing without being pushed off. That's the rumor. I don't know, but I'll tell you, our patch of woods out there is a leased property. It was nothing but straight woods 3 or 4 years ago before we moved out there. So there's nothing crazy about it. It's just a patch of woods. I'll tell you though, it is so far out in the fucking sticks. You've seen ScurryFace mention it is the blackest road ever. He's not fucking lying. 1927, my ass. Well, he's not fucking lying. It is so far out in the sticks that there is nothing. There is nothing there, and all of a sudden you'll see a little tiny light into the woods, and bam, that's your entrance into Creepy Hollow through a trail that is quite long just to get to the ticket booth to get to the midway. So it is way out there in the sticks, and it's fucking freaky. I stayed out there a couple nights last year. We have what's called the Stabbing Cabin. That's where our actors hang out and all that shit. So it's called the Stabbing Cabin, and that was donated to us. We took it out there, rebuilt it, and that's where we cook our food, do our meetings. It doubles as a scene. That's where we do our makeup, this, that, this. Well, I stayed out there, and we killed all the lights to the haunt for the season, or for the night, I'm sorry. And I walked back up the trail, because there's not even fucking cell phone service out there. There's nothing. So he actually said, I got great balance. It's true. I never walked the full length of the wall.
No, Shane, maybe.
But, man, have you ever heard of the Wraith from Gore Galore? Do you know what the Wraith is?
I'm not for sure. Enlighten us.
The Wraith stands, it's an actor-matronic. You put it on your shoulders, and you control its huge-ass arms inside of it, and you're hidden by the dressing. Now, it stands about 11 and a half or 12 feet tall when it's on someone who's tall. My haunt owner's short, so it only stands, like 10 and a half feet tall. He's like a fucking leprechaun. But that motherfucker sits on a stand. And I was walking up our actor trail, which takes you straight back to the stabbing cabin from the midway. And that's just our easy access in and out. We have no cell phone service out there, but I get it out front in the midway. End of the night, everyone's gone home. I'm the only one left out there. All the power is out. You're walking through these woods, which, by the way, are pitch fucking black. Yeah. And you hold your hand here and you still don't see your fucking hand. So I turn the flashlight on my phone and I'm a little bit buzzed, walking up the trail, and the surrounding from my light caught the outline of the fucking wraith in the middle of the trail that asshole had moved there before he left. So my ass, kind of tipsy, stops and says, "What the fuck is this?" And I'm just sitting here staring at it like, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, do I have the balls? And there's animals out there screaming in the middle of the night. There's fucking squirrels and shit fucking fighting. I don't know what the hell's going on, but there's noises out there you shouldn't fucking hear. And it's freaky as fuck, man. So I'm like, okay, cool. I shine my light up, and I see it's the wraith, and I'm like, oh, it's like a goat skull with these fucking huge horns. When you turn it on, the eyes light up. And it's got these huge fucking lobster hooks for arms. You stare at that shit, and you're fucking tipsy, and you're out in the woods in the pitch black, and you're just, what the fuck is this? Well, I get out there, get up the courage, walk past this big motherfucker. I wanted to kick it over if it wasn't so expensive. But go out there, get on my phone, and then I'm walking back through there, and there's shit falling out of the trees because there's fucking critters up there fighting. All this shit's fucking dropping around. Fuck yes, Tim, I was scared. Goddamn right I was. There's shit dropping around me on the ground, and I'm just like, I'm just going to get back. I'm just going to get back. I'm just going to get back. And I'm going to lay down on the couch and go to sleep. Well, then I started thinking, I was like, oh yeah, I volunteered to stay out here because there'd been some vandalism at the haunt. And I said, I'm going to have my mask nearby because if I fucking hear somebody, they're going to get run the fuck out by a clown. And it's going to be hilarious. Yeah. And I said, I'm going to hop on my phone and record that shit. But man, no one ever came. I slept through the night. My haunt owner said, yeah, man, I'll bring you food tomorrow. When I get out there, I'll be out here around 10, 11. I was like, all right, cool, man. Here comes like 1:30, 2 o'clock. Motherfucker's still right there. I'm hungry. And I'd ridden out there with somebody, so I had no fucking way to go get food. Motherfucker shows up at like 4 o'clock and still forgot my food.
So what I thought I heard there for a second is even somebody as great as MoTo the Clown has moments where perhaps he turns into a giant pussy for just a second.
You goddamn right.
If it makes you feel any better, I myself have had similar moments. We were just in a haunted attraction not too long ago, and we had the benefit of doing a behind-the-scenes tour before we went through it. So, of course, you should already be prepared for anything that's in there, right?
You should.
And we walk into this room, and there is an extra person in the room that wasn't there the night before, and you know that it's not real, or that that it is real, but you still you have to know. So I walked past it and then came back around, and here I am, the Minister of Darkness, about pissed my pants when this little girl came up out of her chair and fucking scared me she ran me out of the fucking room. It's incredible. We all have our moments. Man. All right. So, moving on here a little bit, I want to talk for just a moment about favorite horror movie. Go.
Terrifier, hands down.
Heard. Why? Other than the clown.
Terrifier, hands down. Are you asking for reasoning behind it?
Yes, reasoning.
Reasoning. I have reasoning. Okay. Terrifier. Not only is it more of a unique story, however, it is also some of the most unique kill scenes out there right now, period. How many times have you seen old boy take a fucking steak knife, stick it in someone's fucking cranium, use it as leverage to pull back and take someone's hat off.
Damn.
And then kick the fucking head. Not only that, have you seen the Cooter Cutter 3000 scene?
I don't believe I have.
Holy fucking Christ, dude. He hangs a chick by her ankles and cuts her from the cooter all the way down in half. How have you not seen the Cooter Cutter 3000 scene?
I know we're going to have to check that out immediately because that is beautiful. God damn it, Gravedigger. It's about time you got here. We've already talked about you. We've already kissed your butt. We're talking about Cooter Cutters, and we don't even know where you've been. Anyways, I'm sorry. He's fucking late to everything. Every single time, man.
He's old. He was drinking his prune juice, taking his nap.
Petting his cats. Having a good old time there.
That's exactly what he was doing.
Petting his pussies. So we've talked a little bit about immersive horror and what you have going on there a little bit right now with the full contact experience. But let's get a little deeper into immersive horror. Now, I believe you'll probably agree that the walk through a traditional haunted attraction will always be king of haunted attractions, and nobody's ever going to dethrone that monster.
Fact.
But you know, places like Miasma and Stag and these different places are rising up and more people are going to them. Number one, have you yourself ever went through something on that level where it's, you know, you talk about the intensity with the haunt that you have. Have you went through one yourself? Been a victim?
Only once. One time, years and years ago, is in St. Joe, Missouri. I wouldn't call it necessarily super contact by any means, but at that time, contact haunts really didn't exist. So all they really did was, hey, touch you, move you around. And I went to another one, I guess, here in Pensacola that used to be here, where they threw flour in your eyes and just pissed you off. But yeah, that was their contact haunt. They put their arm around you, blindfolded you, walked you around, laid you on this thing, threw a bunch of fucking flour and fake blood on you, and then they took the blindfold off and chucked flour at your face, and you got really angry. But other than that, I can't say that I've done anything overly crazy. I would like to at some point, don't get me wrong. During haunt season, it is definitely next to impossible for me to get away from Creepy Hollow.
I'm sure. Now, you say during haunt season, I'm going to be real with you for a second, MoTo. Miasma is June 29th. Stag is July 11th. These are just a couple. And we both know it's not haunt season right now. So
well,
we'll let
it
you
is,
slide for a minute.
But I'm booked in July. I'm booked in July at Fright Guys Harvest.
All right. You see, I think I'm hearing some excuses and maybe a little bit of fear. Just a little bit.
Fucking negative.
All right. Well, absolutely, if you ever get the opportunity, man, you got to go try one and get involved in a good one, man. Not the throwing fucking flour and fake blood in your face, man. That's not it. And there's so many ways to creep people the fuck out without having to resort to shit like that. It's not fucking necessary. But what do you think it is that drives people, you know, like you have the interest to go, and then people, I've been, there's a lot of people that go. What the fuck is wrong with us that makes us want to go and experience these things, much you think?
Okay, so, well, people like me, people like you, people like us, we're totally different because we've been in the haunt industry for so long. We've seen it, we've built it, we've acted in it, we've done it. So it takes a lot to phase me through any haunt. Every year I go through the 13th gate in Baton Rouge. I go over to the Rise. I go through these haunts. The Rise did have a touch haunted house. I forgot about that. One of the coolest, most theatrical things I think I've ever seen. My hat was off to them that night. Their touch haunt, it wasn't overly, super handsy, but man, it was perfect. But it was so much fun. Now, what's driving people to it is what you're asking. So I'm going to tell you, with the way TV has gone and the way the movies have gone, the gorier and gorier and gorier things get and things are allowed to be. Everyone is so desensitized to so many things. So most people these days, I can't say most, but a lot of people these days, a standard walkthrough haunt, you'll get some jumps out of them, you'll get some spooks out of them, but you really won't get their blood rushing until you grab them by the fucking throat and dunk their head in a bucket of blood and put them into it and actually immerse them into it. Grab them, put them against the wall. If they start talking back to you, actually submit them into the scene.
Yes.
That's just the direction of how things have gone. I can't even say in America, but in entertainment, everyone is so desensitized with the internet and the easy access to beheading videos and everything else. You know, I can throw a fucking rock and hit 10 fucking websites that show you full beheading videos from ISIS and all this other shit. So with that easy access, you can walk through a haunt and see a fake body there without a head and be like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But when I grab your ass and I lock you down on my stocks, I had people puking and shitting themselves in my stocks, and I still didn't let them go.
Awesome.
I would lock them down with a master lock. I had one dude who wouldn't shut his fucking mouth. He kept running his mouth. And I made that dude puke 3 times because I had a sink cup in there that I would just put under his nose. He would start gagging, and then I'd take the chainsaw, crank it up, run it across his stomach, across the back of his legs. He was hanging from his stocks at one point, and he kept running his mouth. I had him in there for an hour and 40 fucking minutes. We went on intermission as actors, and I left him in there.
Jesus.
Left him. And finally, when I let that dude go, you know, he came out there alone, and he said, man, I let him go, and he said, dude, that was some of the most intense shit I've ever been through in my life. I said, get the fuck out of here.
Very good. Very good. Now, regretfully, as all good things do, we are nearing the end of our time together this evening. Allow me to thank you sincerely from the bottom of my black fucking heart. Sincerely thank you for taking some time and spending it with me this evening. Now, before I let you go, ScurryFace. We've seen him out here a little bit. I think everybody on here probably knows exactly who ScurryFace is. A lot more than Haunted Honeymooners. You don't need us promoting you guys. But I want to talk about it for a minute. Let's start from the very top. What the fuck is ScurryFace?
ScurryFace. They started in 2012. The owner, Tyler effing West. He started out just reviewing haunts. And then, he had a certain standard. A lot of these review groups out there these days, you can buy good reviews. And all he ever asked for, ever, is, hey, I'm making the drive. I'm coming to write you a review. I'm putting in the work for it. Hook me up with some tickets. That's it. Now, that is a phenomenal thing right there. You never have to pay for it unless you book him to do actual media stuff and make you videos and edits and this and that and that and this, or to come set up the Scurry 3 show, which he will do on site. Now, that started in 2012, just going and driving and reviewing haunts. Tyler had been working in the haunt industry for quite a while, so he knows the ins and outs of the industry. He knows how the building, the designing. So he has this eye that we all have that have been doing it for a while. Now, he has a very, very good system for his grading, which you can find on his website. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's on his website. A phenomenal grading system. It truly is. And he goes based off of your pricing. If you're a premier haunt charging over $20, you're going to get graded at a premier rate, which means you probably have a multi-million-dollar budget. Probably. At least a very steep budget. Okay. Whereas a mid-level haunt like myself, we don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars. We don't have plug-and-play scenes from Transworld, not to be bagging on them by any means, but we don't have them. And we don't have a bunch of people that are building all year long. So he'll let something like an exposed extension cord hanging down the scene. He'll let that, he might let that slide for me. Not for me. He's a fucking dick to me. But Dude, this motherfucker hit me because Freddy or fucking Jason's bib was popped out on his mask. Fuck that dude. But he has a very, very fair grading system, and the whole thing is it's very, very constructive criticism. So at the end of the haunt, he's gonna walk through. He's gonna want to talk to a manager, to the owner. He's gonna want to say, "Hey, man, so is there a reason you did this way?" And if the person gives him a justifiable reason as to why they did this a certain way, it's like, well, we tried this and it didn't work, and that's the way Tyler might have been thinking it should have been done. It's done. He's going to knock that off, and that's going to improve your score. Not many people will do that. So he goes above and beyond to make sure that you learn as well as get an awesome review. The fans get an awesome review so they can make an educated decision on where they want to go. If you're putting on a shit show, he's going to let you know it. I mean, that's if you're putting on a shit show and charging $50 or $30 to go through, he's going to tell you it's not worth the bang for the buck.
Very good.
Which pretty much $1 a minute is what you're looking at here. So $1 a minute inside the haunt, which I've paid over $20 for haunts that I was in for less than 8 minutes before, and I timed it, and I was friggin' pissed.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks.
But
nothing.
he started that in 2012, kind of grew. He started having reviewers from all over the country. People started getting interested in it, and he was training them and saying, this is what I expect. Uphold this standard, the standard. He has a very strict standard for his reviewers. And, no one's taking money. No one's doing anything except for going to haunts. These people are experienced in haunts. That's one thing he really looks for in his reviewers is, I want people who have been in the industry, been an actor, been something, so they have some experience behind them. It's not just an enthusiast. There's plenty of review teams out there that are just enthusiasts. They just love going to haunts. And they have their opinions, but they truly have no fucking idea why things are done the way they're done. I've had a review team come out and hit me because they got held up in a room where my character continued to do their act while they got them out of the next room and reset for that group to come in. I actually got a review written on me, and they were pissed about that. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't just throw you in a fucking cattle line and shove you through, and you see the same thing. But whatever, fuck it. But Tyler came through the very next night for the first time. This was back when me and him met, 2017. And man, he showed up. He saw this exact same show that those people did. And he wrote out, and he knew exactly why we did it. He knew the actors were resetting, and he gave props on the fact that the actor didn't stop doing their job while they were in there. Kept working on them, kept in character, kept the scene going, and then when that room was reset, the door was opened, boom, they were out.
And to be honest, there's nothing worse than to be going through a haunted attraction
and run into other
and
people.
then, because nobody's willing to take the time to do that correctly, now all of a sudden you're just walking behind the group that went in front of you because nobody was willing to slow the fuck down and take time to do it properly. And they just want to shove as many fucking people as they possibly can through the fucking haunt. It doesn't matter what the fucking experience is for anyone else. I respect the fucking hell out of that. I really, really do, because there's a lot of them out there that won't give a shit and just be like, well, whatever, next room fucking go, next room fucking go. And to take the time, that shows the passion, that shows that you're not just there to make the buck. I mean, granted, you need to make the buck for the haunt to keep going, but you're there to scare the fucking shit out of somebody and to give them the experience they came for. And that is a beautiful thing. That is an absolutely beautiful thing to be willing to say, hey, we might have to spend the next 5-10 minutes in this room, just you, me here in MoTo, but it's what we're going to do to make this shit right. So I sincerely applaud you for that. Very, very much. Now, what exactly is your affiliation with ScurryFace?
I am the COO of ScurryFace, the COO, whatever the hell it is Tyler calls me, the COO, I don't know. But I was the very first and original clown to bring ScurryFace online, period. After he did his review on us, I truly fell in love with his system and what he did and his passion behind it. And, you know, me and Tyler, the very first time we talked, we spent like 4 hours on the phone together. Like we'd known each other forever. It was fucking crazy. And, you know, now we talk to each other, you know, daily. But when I brought MoTo online, I said, hey man, can I use ScurryFace radio? Because he has a radio station. And I said, can I use ScurryFace radio when I go live for my background music and this and that? And so, boom, I came online. It took a couple of feeds, but next thing you know, fucking everybody was beating on the ScurryFace door, wanting a sponsorship, wanting this, wanting this. And over time, as we started picking different people up, not even as sponsors, we had sponsorships at one point, but then we moved into, hey, why don't we do representatives of ScurryFace? And now we have people that don't go live at all. These are people that we've known throughout in the industry that are just great representatives of the haunt industry, of their character, of their haunt, and of themselves. So that, again, back to the standard. That is exactly what ScurryFace is about. Be a good person, in and out of costume, assist junior haunters, new haunters, because we've all been to a haunt at some point where someone is new, they're not quite getting it, and the senior actors are dicks to them and kind of run them out. And I've seen that happen, and I've heard of it happening. That's something I don't allow to go down at my haunt ever, because we are all volunteer at my haunt. My haunt's nonprofit. We make no money. We donate everything we make, everything to the local schools. So
very cool.
I'm not getting paid. The owner's not getting paid. None of us are getting paid. So there's no excuse to run someone out. It's not like they're challenging your paycheck.
No,
now,
no.
I hate hearing about senior haunters that are just fucking assholes to new people. I fucking hate hearing about it. So that's one thing we speak to our reps about is, hey, if you see this going down, take this person under your wing. Fucking stand up for them. Hey, you were there once too. I was there once when I was 7, but I was there. There's a lot of people. I get brand new actors every single year. And some of them, yeah, it might not quite be their thing, but they're out there and they're loving it and they're having fun. That's what matters to me. Now, on the other hand, I got people that are complete and total, just like to themselves, super loners in school, but they come out to a haunt and it's a whole new fucking person. It's so crazy watching this person transform into a character when they don't even talk. And now all of a sudden they're the most fucking chatty clown you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
And so with our standard, you know, it comes with responsibility with being a representative. And, you know, I think right now we're somewhere around that 65-ish area of representatives in the industry all across the nation and internationally, over in Italy and Australia. You know, we got a lot of people that are representing the haunt industry in ScurryFace. And we truly fucking love it, man. Every single one of us. Hell, we got one coming in from Scotland next year to go to Arx Mortis with us for My Bloody Valentine next year.
Very cool.
So stuff like that, man. It's a true love. It's a true passion for all of us, as it should be. And it's getting back to the roots of being a haunt actor.
Now, I want you to know, before I asked you to come onto our show, I had the opportunity to read the standard, what he's talking about here, ladies and gentlemen. And it's way too fucking much to get into all right now. But I read it, the whole thing all the way through, and it shows truly what this organization is trying to do. And, you know, I know that we do haunt reviews too, and everything like that, but what they have going on and the organization and what they have put together and the reason why it exists, it's an awesome, awesome thing you all have built. And I want to be able to show some respect for it and what you guys have done. And I'm an asshole, man. I don't show respect to nobody for many reasons at all. You know, we've had several reviews that continue to grow. It's the same story. If there's something I don't like about your haunt, you know, we'll talk about it. We do interviews with the owners at the end of them every single time. And, you know, whether good or bad. and honestly, they've all really been good for the most part. We've had like one bad experience, one that I would kind of look at and be like, sorry about your luck. But it was bad. It was bad. It was an insult to the haunt industry what they were doing. But anyways, Yeah, I really, really respect what you guys are trying to do. And again, I sincerely, sincerely thank you for taking a little bit of time tonight to talk with us about who the fuck Moto the Clown is, what the fuck ScurryFace is, this absolutely awesome haunt that you're working at, and what's going on there. And regretfully, our time, it's
All good
it's
times must come to an end, my friend.
it must. It must. But as with every guest, we always like to turn the floor over to you and allow you to send any shout outs, any fucking say whatever the fuck you want. Talk about your nut juice for 2 minutes and call it quits, man. The floor is yours. Take it away. Send us home.
Well, in all reality, guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you for those of you who followed over from all the pages this has been shared to. Make sure you give these guys a like. I've done a few different interviews on a few different platforms. This has by far been the most fun for me.
Awesome.
I had an absolute blast. It was great. I got to be myself. Thank you so much for that. I greatly, greatly appreciate that. I can tell by talking to you, you truly have a passion for the haunt industry. That in itself is something that, you can tell. I've been doing this shit for a long, long time, and I can tell you do. And man, I want you to keep that passion, keep having fun with it. That is all anybody can do in this industry, and just keep having fucking fun. On the other end, shout out to ScurryFace, obviously. Been with them since day one as MoTo. They've stuck with me since day one as MoTo. No matter what stupid decisions and stupid shit I've ever said, they've always been there with me along the way. I can't thank them enough. Thank you so much to Tyler, man. Creepy Hollow Woods, go get my Hana like, please. I go over there. I've started going live on that page again, so I will be there tomorrow night at 7. Then ScurryFace at 8 for AA Tuesday. And then here soon, I got to start going live on MoTo again. And but in the end, guys, it's been a fucking ball. Please, please, please give these guys a like, give them a share, help them out, give them what you can. And in all reality, man, we've really touched on just about everything. I just really appreciate you bringing me on tonight and letting me have a good time.
Nah, man, I appreciate you coming and hanging out with us. Like I said, I don't bow down to fucking anybody, but for you, I'll give you a small one, man. And I hope to be able to do this again sometime in the future. And we can't this year, but at some point in time, I promise, we're going to come knocking on your haunt's door and see what all you got cracking down there. But until
Bring it the fuck on.
Until then, and until we meet again. And remember, Sacrilegious Thursdays. It's going to be coming this Thursday. Check it out. Experienced Terror Team. That's where you can catch it. Until then, MoTo, I thank you. ScurryFace, props to you as well. Vote motherfucking Gravedigger and have a good night.
Thank you all.